Welcome to Alberta Conservation Association's Harvest Your Own podcast, the resource for everything hunting, navigating through the field, the butcher shop, and the kitchen. Life is all about great food. Let's get started.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Brad Fenson, an avid outdoor enthusiast who has worked as a freelance journalist, photographer, and public speaker for over 3 decades. I have hunted, fished, and foraged all my life and hope to share my passion for the outdoors. Along the way, I want to encourage everyone to harvest wild proteins and enjoy the satisfaction of providing the next meal for your family. Our goal is to educate, entertain, and inspire individuals to get outdoors and create a connection between food, health, and your future meals. Welcome to Harvest Your Own and another episode of BrAdvice or BrAdvice. This week's topic is coming from one of our listeners who wanted to know where they could find people or groups of experienced hunters that were willing to share some of their experience. Well, that's a great topic because that fits right into what Harvest Your Own is all about. And if you've listened to some episodes over the last couple of years, you'll know that we've had lots of different things on, and we'll touch on that. But this is a great topic to introduce new and aspiring hunters to groups and people to help them get outdoors and fast track their learning curve. You know, it's always easier to have somebody to show you how to do things, from asking permission to sighting in a gun to field dressing an animal to how to get it out of the woods, than it is to figure it all on your own. You know, over the years, we've also done some podcasts with people that didn't have a mentor, and they talked about the challenges. So, like I said, this is an important topic, but one that we can certainly brag about in Alberta, because we have lots of people and lots of groups that go out of the way to help mentor new hunters. And, you know, some people might say, we don't need more hunters. There's, too many people in the field already. Well, we're a long ways from being crowded in Alberta. You know, back in the 70s, we had 80,000 waterfowl hunters, and now we have just over 17,000. That leaves an awful lot of room compared to what our grandparents had when they were hunters in Alberta years ago. And that's just one example. You know, our wildlife populations, things like elk, are up higher numbers than we've ever seen. So why not share that knowledge and experience to help others get out and enjoy it as well? So let's dive right in. Where would you go if you wanted to learn more about hunting and have somebody take you out? Well, the most unique case that I can talk about is a lady phoned me personally and texted me, and said, my husband really wants to get into hunting. I was talking to your neighbor, and I understand you do a lot of hunting. Would you take him out? So I said, yeah, let's have a chat, because you want to find out a little bit about the person. And it basically took 2 years to get him out, because he was really keen on learning, but he hadn't taken hunter ed and didn't have his pal and didn't have a firearm. And to him, he wanted to make sure he did all of that stuff ahead of time so that he was legal and ready to go and mentally prepared as well. Because, a lot of the education courses we take prepare us mentally for hunting. It is a big step for a lot of people, and it's an important one. But 2 years into it, he said, I'm ready to go. And we got him out for a weekend of waterfowling, where we got to shoot a bunch of ducks and geese and give him recipes to send him home with some birds to try. And he's been back out. This year, he actually harvested a deer. So, having a mentor is important, and it can help fast track you into success. Now, the key message there is don't be shy. Whether it's your spouse or your buddy or your brother, sister, mother, phoning somebody that they know that hunts and asks, hey, would you be willing to take so-and-so out hunting and show them the ropes? Why not? This isn't the time to be shy. If you want to learn it, step up, ask somebody that you know that's a hunter, and get out there and use their knowledge to fast track your education policy. Now, if you really don't know anyone, you don't have a lot of friends, or you come from a family with no hunting background, you don't know anybody that hunts, where would you get started? Again, Alberta is at the top of the ladder in terms of help and mentorship, and we have all kinds of programs. The Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association is a great example. We've had some of their people on here, and we talked about many of the programs they have, everything from the education camps to shooting leagues at the range, and of course a mentor program. We had Fatima Duma on here, who was mentored through AHIA and got out and harvested her first deer And that is a great example of a program. If you're really stuck, you need to get hold of AHIA and look into that program and get your name on the list to finally get out. I know there's a long list, and sometimes you're not going to get out right away. So anyone that is thinking about this needs to reach out to these groups and touch base, get your name on the list to get things started. AHIA is obviously a great option for doing that, but the Alberta Professional Outfitter Society also helps to mentor new hunters. And they have programs where some of their waterfowl outfitters will take inexperienced people in the field and show them the ropes. So another great organization that has helped with education and things like the tooth aging lab at the Lethbridge College. So APOS is very active. They have lots of members. Obviously, they have lots of experience. They're professional hunters, and they're willing to help take people out. Now, another one, the Alberta Wildlife Federation, used to be Alberta Fish and Game Association, has probably close to 100 clubs in Alberta. If you don't have any friends or family that hunt and fish, an Alberta Wildlife Federation club in your region is a great place to go and sit in on a monthly meeting or go to one of their horn scoring events and meet some people that could actually work with you. Now, they also have a number of different camps, and they have mentorship programs, and every club offers something different. Some of them have different priorities, whether it's conservation, whether it's education, whether it's youth programs. But getting your foot in the door is a great way to find people to help take you out hunting or to teach you the ropes. Another one that we've had on Harvest Your Own is the Outdoor Women's Program with the On-Away Fish and Game, and that is, again, a prime example of one of the clubs of the Alberta Wildlife Federation that has programs specifically tailored for people that want to learn more about it. So if you're a lady in Alberta and you want to learn more about hunting, you want to meet ladies with similar interests, their Outdoor Women's Program that they have at several of the clubs is the perfect avenue for you to get involved. So meet the clubs, meet some of the members, get involved with some of their programs. You can, the nice part about all of these programs is you can access them online. Whether you go through Alberta Hunter Education Instructors Association, Alberta Professional Outfitters, Alberta Wildlife Federation, or even an individual club like the On-Away Fish and Game, you can go on their websites and find out all of this information firsthand. So, again, another great organization in Alberta is the Wild Sheep Foundation of Alberta, and they run summer camps for youth. And these are quite extensive. They teach people everything from how to pack a horse to how to identify legal rams, teach you some sheep biology, shooting, camping, all the different skills you're going to need to do a backcountry hunt. So that is kind of like next level mentorship. It's not just picking up a gun and learning how to hunt, but it's learning how to go hardcore and do a backcountry hunt where you have to call on some of your life skills in order to get there, stay there, survive, and be successful as a hunter. So a very unique program and worth looking into if the mountains call. That the big rocks in the backcountry out west in Alberta is pretty spectacular country, and it's pretty easy to fall in love with it. But thank goodness we have organizations and people that are willing to share that passion, and that's exactly what the Wild Sheep Foundation of Alberta is doing. Another Harvest Your Own podcast we had, and this is for students in some of our universities. The Alberta chapter of the Wildlife Society has a great program, again, where they're offering to take students, university students, out to show them and teach them hunting. This is a great introduction to hunting for people that don't necessarily have it and maybe want to form their own opinion, not listen to what others think about it. So, again, a great way to do it. But if you look at Alberta as a whole, the different organizations we have, the different people we have, the variety of wildlife and opportunities for hunting, it is pretty crazy. Like, we have more opportunities than most jurisdictions. And I often hear from around the world when I'm traveling and stuff that Alberta is the crown jewel. It's where everyone else wants to come and hunt and have an experience and get in the outdoors. So, again, lots of reasons to start hunting. Harvest Your Own is the one that trying to guide you along and give you more information, but it's more or less the in thing these days is sourcing your own wild proteins and organic meats and stuff and spending more time in the field, adding quality to life. And like I said, the best way to do that is to reach out to somebody you know, or to reach out to some of the organizations we have in Alberta. So, to the listener that sent us the question, I would also love to hear about how people from non-hunting households with hunting licenses like himself can find groups or experienced hunters to learn from, potentially willing to take out guides or people who don't know any or many hunters in the field. Perhaps after an interview, first initial meeting to have a game plan, or if the newcomer has a tag of their own, that they can come and contribute. I hope that answers your question. And there's your BrAdvice for this month. We hope to inspire people to reconnect with nature and appreciate where your food comes from by harvesting your own. For more information on getting started or to learn specifics about the Field to Fork experience, visit harvestyourown.ca and follow on Facebook and Instagram. Check back often for new material, recipes, and videos that are posted regularly. Please subscribe to Harvest Your Own podcast and take the time to rate and review the show to help us build a dedicated core of passionate hunters as our regular audience. Until next time, embrace the outdoors and all it has to offer. Thanks for joining us.